Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a treat.
He's there, he's here, he's there, he's every effing where. He's Mike P. Mike P.
Mike P.
How you doing, Mike?
Not too shabby, sir. Not too shabby. How are you? I know I had to depart one day from the show, and I understand you were ill another day, so I hope you feel better. And other than that, all good.
Well, you know, truth be told, man, Thursday and Friday, I could not go 5 minutes without coughing, and if I was talking, it was more like 30 seconds. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wound up taking Thursday and Friday off, but so it all worked out in the end. But glad to have you back, man. How was the trip to the other side of the pond?
It was nice. Listen, you know what always sucks is that overnight airline flight. You know, the red eye. So that's horrible. Other than that, everything was great. You know, got to go to South London. Got to watch Crystal Palace play. Got to watch them beat West Ham. Went to Edinburgh for the day. Up to Scotland. Went all over. West London to Richmond. It was wonderful. It was great. So I had a good time.
I think that's one of the advantages of being there on the East Coast is that the flights to anywhere in Europe, for the most part, seem to be a lot more reasonable than trying to get there from California.
Listen, when we head over, whether it's going to UK or even to Italy, it's 6-hour flight, 6.5-hour flight. Coming back, you add an hour because of the jet stream, but it's definitely a lot more reasonable than you guys having to go there. But it's like us trying to go to Tokyo or something. It's a 12-hour ordeal, you know?
Well, Tokyo ain't exactly a short ordeal from here either. More like Hawaii.
Yeah, well, Hawaii for us is still 10 hours to get there.
Yeah. I hear you, sir. Well, it is a pleasure to have you back. The folks always appreciate the witticisms from Mr. Mikey P.
Oh yeah, we got him. We got a whole bucket full of them right here. I just pull them out and give them to you.
He's been saving his witticisms. Been saving them all weekend. So let's go ahead and get into it. But folks, before we do, what we got to do? We got to pay them bills. That starts with giving a shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Let's say hi to our friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. You got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Now you can buy from them factory direct. Just go to hitmanindustries.com. Hitmanindustries.com. No, .net. Hitmanindustries.net. If you want to join up in California, help fight the fight, get on over there to the California Republican Assembly, helping you fight the fight today for California's future tomorrow. That's CaliforniaRepublicanAssembly.com. If you want the best in concealment holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters, HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you're looking for some tactical gear, some field gear, going outdoors, having some fun gear, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. The websites, their links to the websites are in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. And if you like, do us a favor and let them know that you got the information from the Rundown, that the Rundown sent you.
There you go.
There you go. That's what I was trying to say. All right, let's get into today's story. And this first one is going to be no surprise. But nonetheless, we always have to bring stuff up like this because, well, let's just be honest. A big part of this is just about letting folks know that, that we were right. I hate to say this. It's one of those. I'm going to, what's the word I'm saying? I'm going to basically say, I told you so. And this has to do with the state of California. Now, the state of California has spent over the last few years $24 billion. That's not million. That's billion with a B. $24 billion in order to address the homelessness crisis in the state of California. And lo and behold, nobody knows where the money went. That's right here, according as reported by the New York Post. It says here, California GOP leaders are calling for more accountability after an audit released earlier this week indicated that the state spent around $24 billion to tackle the homelessness crisis over the past 5 years, but did not track at all whether the huge outlay of public money did anything to actually improve the problem. The state auditor's report found that despite roughly $24 billion spent on homelessness and housing programs during a 2018 to 2023 fiscal years, the problem didn't improve. Well, I guess you could say it didn't improve unless your goal is to get more homeless people, because that's exactly what we got. Anyway, moving right along. It says here, among other things, the report found that the California Interagency Council on Homelessness, which is responsible for coordinating agencies and allocating resources for the homelessness programs, stopped tracking whether the programs were working in 2021, as if they were actually tracking it before then. Mike, does this surprise you at all?
No, Craig. And listen, it doesn't take, a rocket scientist to figure out what goes on here. If you have a program where you're giving out $24 billion worth of funds, and let's say perhaps you want to move some funds over to another little project or put them over in the governor's slush fund over here, you just move the money around. If nobody's tracking it, Craig, then what difference does it make where it goes? This is just lends all kinds of ability for fraud. For felonies kind of fraud level here. This should be tracked from the moment it heads out the door, where it's going, and then the follow-ups on the backside. Listen, we spent $100,000 at location so-and-so to make sure things got better. And then we went back at, 30, 60, 90 days, 180 days, 360 to make sure everything was better there, what was going on. But they did zero tracking of it, Craig. It sounds more like you said, what they did is, hey, are you homeless? Here's $1,000. So just to make you feel better. And all that does is give you more homeless people. How many times do we have to see this? Let's compare it to the animal world, Craig, right? Don't feed the bears because then they don't know how to feed themselves. Right? And it's exactly what you got going on here.
But you know what, though, Mike? And here's what's interesting. Let's say they did that. Let's say they said, okay, we got $24 billion. Let's just divide it up and give it to the homeless people, right?
Yeah.
There are an estimated 182,000 homeless people in the state of California. Now, when you do the math, and I'm not going to ask you to do the math because I didn't pre-warn you that there was going to be a math test, it works out to about $132,000 per homeless person.
Is that right? That can't be right. There's no way.
That is right.
You give that much money.
Divide $24 billion. Those of you playing at home, go ahead, pull up your calculator. Divide $24 billion by 182,000, and you will come up with about $132,000.
Let's see, 24 billion. You say, huh?
Billion.
So that's
billion.
That's I'm gonna do it
carry the two.
So that's 9 zeros. 24 plus 9 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by how many?
182,000.
82,000.
I could not believe it myself.
Yep, that's about $132,000 a person.
Now, there are at least 24 states where you could have bought a house with that.
Well, Craig, that's one person too. Let's say you got a homeless family of 5. You got $650,000.
Well, exactly. That's But I'm like, that's how money is wasted. When they say that there is a homeless industrial complex, there is, and it's in the state of California. That's why we have 30% of the homeless people in the state of California. That's the reason why when the Fed sent the money, they were like, well, what'd you do with the money? That's what the Fed said to them. We sent you. We ain't sending you no more money because you didn't do nothing with the money we sent you.
Yeah.
Now, when the federal government is like, what'd you do with the money? Something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly right. You come on. We want to put it in our slush fund, not your slush fund. What's going on here?
Well, and by the way, this follows up Gavin Newsom's success that he had, in the homeless program, the program to end homeless that he started in 2008 in San Francisco, where he said he was going to end homelessness in 10 years. No, what he said was or maybe he said he was going to fix homelessness, because he fixed it all right. He expanded it and outsourced it to the rest of the state.
That's just ridiculousness.
Right.
I mean, how do I get some? And this is all untaxed money as well, right? The homeless aren't paying anything on this because they're not paying any taxes at all.
Well, it went into things like these mini housing units in Los Angeles County that cost $800,000 per unit.
Yeah, this is just corruption at its best.
And by the way, here's the other thing, Mike. Now, about 85% of the homeless, no matter where you go, no matter what the study you're doing, no matter who you're talking to, they estimate that about 80 to 90% of those who are homeless are addicted to drugs, right? And yet, in the state of California, in order to get any of that $24 billion, you are not allowed to discriminate against people who are addicted to drugs, or who are drug users, meaning that if you have a program that requires someone to be sober, meaning to go through drug treatment before you can take advantage of the homeless program, nope, don't require it. And the cherry on top, Mike, here's the cherry on top. Check this out. This is also after or in the midst of $55 billion being scammed from the state of California in COVID homelessness unemployment benefits.
Yeah, Craig. Listen, people often talk about, well, California, wants to secede from the union. Well, you're not having to worry about that. After the next administration, Craig, you're going to be expelled from the union. It's going to be
and rightfully so. And rightfully so, because we're going to bankrupt the country at this point. Because we keep going. We want to go to the rest of the country and be like, can you spare a brother a few $1 billion? Can you spare $1 trillion? You got any spare trillions around there?
We're going to take all the rest of the illegal immigrants in the country, Craig. We're going to ship them all to California, and then put the wall up, and then expel you from the union. And you love them so much you can keep them, and you can pay them your own money.
Well, you know what? Speaking of that leads us to our next story that's talking about the border crisis. And the border crisis, once again, here we're talking about the great state of California. As Texas has decided that they are actually going to enforce their southern border since the federal government won't, the impetus or the main focus of the coyotes now in the cartels is to push immigration through the state of California, through California's southern border. Not only that, you're actually seeing immigration officials are actually basically dropping folks off in Southern California. And what you're seeing as a result of that is leading to Californians once again deciding to purchase more firearms. This once again also coming from the New York Post. Californians are buying up guns after Border Patrol starts dumping thousands of migrants on streets. This is El Cajon. This is reported out of El Cajon. It says California customers packed Corey Gattero's small gun store northeast of San Diego on a recent Friday afternoon. Many of the people buying pistols at Firearms Unlimited said they were concerned about the massive number of migrants being released onto local streets after the area became a hub for the crisis at the border, which is just 25 miles from El Cajon, a Southern California suburb of 105,000 people. Now, Mike, for some reason, they just seem to think that, this is what they're going to do is they're going to use this to feel. They're going to say, look, gun owners are racist. That's why they're going and they're buying all these guns. They're going to completely ignore the fact that, on the other side of the country and in other major metropolitan cities, there are organized gangs of, what are they? Oh, yeah, illegal immigrants that are now inflicting crime upon various different constituencies, especially in areas like New York, where they actually don't prosecute criminals.
Yeah, New York City, right? You see it. Chicago, you see it. Detroit, you see it. Philly, you see it. Everywhere. You're starting to see it expand a little bit, like the one young college student we had killed outside of Atlanta. But the laws there are a little bit different with that gentleman. You'll find out. Gentleman, I should say, Scroat is really what he is: illegal immigrant, murderist, killer. But Craig, it's people wanting to defend themselves, right? You're looking around and going, hey, even with the decriminalization of crime, the crime is still going up. All right, we need to do something to defend ourselves, and the primary way to do that is with the bullet launcher.
Well, and Mike, they were saying here that there have been about 125 to 150,000 immigrants dropped off in San Diego since September.
Yeah.
And once again, these are not just this is not Greg Abbott or Ron DeSantis sending them to San Diego or California. This is the federal government. This is Joe Biden sending them there. This is Gavin Newsom's boy, his friend, his ace. And yet somehow it's Trump's fault.
Well, exactly right. Listen, and they're going to accept them there, so they're going to take them in California. So what does the conniving rat Newsom do? Oh, let's send them to the most conservative portions of our state. That way they could feel what it's like. We'll send them there to give them a taste of their own medicine. Hey, if you got no problem with the illegal immigrants, spread it around. We're spread around. They're literally trying to punish a conservative military-based community.
Well, unfortunately, San Diego, the city of San Diego, and the county has taken a turn to the left. But I think if there is anything that is going to push them back to the right, this is going to be it.
Well, what'll push them to the left, Greg, is another 130,000 people that vote blue. That's what does it.
Yeah. Well, especially in California where there's almost no ballot security.
Yeah, right. We know that. Yeah.
They may not be voting, but they'll be voting.
Yeah, right. How many times we got to see, boxes full of ballots show up in the backseat of a car abandoned in a convenience store parking lot in California,
You said that as if that has never happened.
That's why I said it, because we did the story. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the most secure election ever.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know. Biden takedown of sheets.
Ballots,
I know you got to be wondering what this is. All right, so there's a company.
You could print a lot of ballots with 24 billion missing dollars.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about this story about this company referred to as Sheets. And this is once again another story from the New York Post. It says Biden and the Great Sheets Takedown, another crazy example of social justice run amok. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about Sheets. Sheets is let me read a little bit of the article for you and you'll get what I'm saying here. The Biden administration believes it should be a federal crime to refuse to hire ex-convicts. There is no such federal statute. But that hasn't stopped the Biden's Equal Opportunity Commission from seizing dictatorial power and impose its own decrees. The EEOC sued Sheets Inc. Thursday for using criminal background checks to staff its 600-plus convenience stores in 6 states. The agency does not allege that Sheets is biased against minorities per se, only against minorities who fail the background check. It justifies its crackdowns on criminal background checks because black men's imprisonment rate was nearly 7 times higher than white men and almost 3 times higher than Hispanic men, according to the EEOC guidance. So in other words, what's happening here, Mike, is they do background checks. And if you fail the background check, you don't get hired. But they're saying, well, because it has a disparate impact on black people, because more black men or more black people are convicted of crimes or have criminal records, that it's racist. Now, I'm trying to think, is there a reason why someone who runs a convenience store would not want to hire someone with a criminal background?
I don't know, Craig. Somebody who you leave alone to work with cash and product unsupervised, why would I want to make sure that they don't have a criminal background check?
Because you're racist.
I'm racist. That's why. Okay. Yeah. Has nothing to do with the fact that you've probably been in jail for a crime involving the theft of property or the stealing of property. But now I'm going to leave you alone with cash and trust you with it, and with my product and trust you with it. No. I might trust you cutting my grass the first couple times. We'll see how that works out. But I'm not giving you the keys to the kingdom, so to speak.
Well, but once again, under the Biden administration, and by the way, folks, is one of the things that a lot of the folks in the social justice community are actually leaning on. Their thing is, well, you're not actually racist. You just have policies that have disparate impact on certain people of certain races. And it, not that you intend for it to be about race, but hey, sorry, don't know what to tell you. It's like saying, the NBA's hiring policy has a disparate impact on people who are shorter than 6 feet. So therefore, you're bigoted against people who are shorter than 6 feet. Well, no, NBA hires tall people. Professional basketball players tend to be tall people. It gives them an advantage. Shorter people tend to not be as good at basketball.
Yeah, and listen, let's not forget also that, Craig, when you look at using the same standard, the NBA is racist. If you look at the number of people there based on their ethnicity, based on the total population, they must be racist. They're racist towards white and Hispanics.
Well, now technically, according to social justice theory, you can't be racist against white people, but they are definitely racist against Latinos.
Well, then go get them, Latinos. Let's see that law.
By the way, for those of you who are new to the program, I do not ascribe to this stuff. This is what is called sarcasm. Just so you know. Yeah. But this is the sort of madness. And right now, what I am appreciating is you're starting to see in corporate America, this stuff is starting to fall away. DEI departments at companies and corporations are going away. A lot of these programs are going away. The thing that makes me mad about it is, and we've talked about this before, the concept of diversity and equity and inclusion, the concept of each one in and of itself is not a bad thing. But when it is implemented through a program that promotes racism, that supposedly uses racism in order to combat past racism, no, that doesn't work.
That's how you end up like, what is it? California. Yeah. In the hole everywhere. Yeah. And now they're being called on it,
There you go. Well, the price has come due and the cupboards are bare.
That's it. There you go.
The world in which we live. Anyway, that brings us to our next story. And I know you guys probably get tired of hearing this stuff, but there's more data. Absolutely more data. Specifically dealing with and talking about gender affirming care. I prefer to call it sex trait modification for children, medical sex trait modification. There is a new study out, another one now. This one is from the Netherlands. It is amazing. They're supposed to be following all these European countries and all the stuff they do. But here it says, new gender identity research shows most children outgrow gender confusion. A recent study from the Netherlands has sparked considerable debate by suggesting that the majority of children who experience gender confusion will outgrow these feelings by adulthood. This research comes amid increasing discussions about the appropriateness of early medical interventions for transgender children in the United States. The study tracked 2,700 individuals from age 11 to their mid-20s, assessing their feelings about gender over 3 years. Initially, about 1 in 10 participants expressed discomfort with their gender. But by age 25, the figure dropped significantly, with only 1 in 25 continuing to feel that way. The feelings have been met with varied reactions. Now, Mike, the interesting thing once again about this is we were told that follow the science, and the science says that we need to castrate these kids, and we need to give them medication, and we need to cut off their breasts and let them have their own pronouns and all that stuff. And I'm like, but logic says, or science says, that a human brain isn't really fully formed until their mid-20s. Perhaps we shouldn't be letting children make permanent life-altering decisions that are going to affect them the rest of their life at the age of 11 or 12. I thought that was the science. And now we're finding out, yeah, that probably is the science.
Craig, you ever ask a 5-year-old what they want to be when they grow up? What do you want to do when you grow up, little Johnny? Oh, I want to be a fire truck. Oh, geez, not really possible. What else do you want to be? I want to be a cartoon character. Once again, not real. So let's figure this out. Craig, what was the Adam Sandler movie? Remember Big Daddy? Oh, I'm just going to let him make his own decisions. He dressed in a scuba suit and went by the name Frankenstein. All right? We don't trust kids to do this. It's up to us to give them guidance and direct them in the proper path. All right? It's ridiculous. And now that the real science is there, not the political science, of course, the left is backing away from it.
Mike, I will just say it again. In the state of California, literally, they have tried to make it so that you can lose your children if you refuse to allow them to get gender affirming care or sex trait modification, meaning take drugs that will permanently make them, in many cases, make them sterile, give them osteoporosis, stunt their growth. You're required to give them that, but they can't go to a tanning salon with their parents' permission.
Craig, I think as far as when it comes to California, we just, let it be. At a certain point here in the near future, they're going to run out of money to pay their government employees. So nobody's going to be able to come take your kids from you. And you're just going to have a bunch of rich illegal aliens running around out there doing what they want to do anyway. So, that's okay. Here's your $132,000. Go ahead and do what you want, sir. And don't worry, the government won't be in existence or funded to do anything to harm you.
Yeah, well, I once again, Mike, I'm with you. I think that's definitely something that's coming down the pike. I keep hoping that eventually there is going to be a reality check in the state of California where they're actually the voters are going to wake up to reality. And I think we're almost there, but I could be wrong.
There is going to be a reality check, and it's going to be looking at your half of the wall on the California border when the rest of the country says, we've had enough with you.
There you go. All right, folks. Well, hey, now it's time for our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholster.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. All right, we were talking a little bit earlier about, we didn't even talk about Hamas and all of the protests and everything that are taking place. Well, right now, let's see, which one? I want to do this one first. Okay, so first of all, one of the things about these protests is that literally the anti-Semitism that takes place at some of these things. But Columbia University has committed, Mike, that they are actually going to do their research, and they're going to make sure that everything that anti-Semitism is addressed. Like here in this commitment that they made to the Babylon Bee, they said that Columbia admins promised to carefully investigate whether "Let's kill every Jew we see on campus" chant violates school conduct policy.
No, that's not hate speech. That's political speech. That's not hate speech. Greg. Remember, they've already made that decision.
They have made that clear. It's political speech, not hate speech. There you go. But I think our good friend down there, your good friend down there, Captain Florida, actually has a solution. Once again, he offers it to the Babylon Bee. It says, winning. DeSantis unveils massive circus cannon that will launch pro-Hamas protesters all the way to Gaza.
It's a heck of a cannon, but it works. It works. Yeah, they're shorter when they get there too. Just so you know.
By the way, Biden is in the news again, and he has provided some clarification as to the fate of his uncle. You do remember his uncle that was eaten by cannibals? Well,
yeah.
Once again, in another presentation to the Babylon Bee, Biden claims his uncle's heart was ripped out during a human sacrifice ritual in India.
Yep. That's old Brandon there. Yeah. He probably told that to a dead French president too last week.
I'm just wondering. It's kind of funny. Why is it that there is not more scrutiny of when he says stuff? I just wonder why most of the mainstream media isn't like, yeah, come on, this is funny. The dude said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals. Or let me clarify. He implied that his uncle was eaten by cannibals.
Just to remain topical, Craig, this guy, he sheets his drawers.
He sheets his drawers. He's full of sheets.
He's full of sheets.
All right, folks, well, we're about to wrap it up, but before we do, got to give that quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, that's hitmanindustries.net. You can get yourself AR pistol barrel or a rifle barrel at any caliber you like, any length you like for your next AR rifle or pistol build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part. California's future today. Check them out. It's the California Republican Assembly. And if you want the best in tactical gear or field gear on the market, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for today. Please, like I said before, make it a point. Visit our sponsors. You'll find the links to their websites in the description of this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money. Let them know the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And we will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all stay safe, have a good time, and we will see you mañana.
There you go.